Hello and welcome to Deeksha. Here I am today to discuss the NEET 2025 paper, and before I start discussing the paper, just for your information, those who want to appear for upcoming 2026 exam or those who have already appeared in 2025, the paper level difficulty was little harder and the expected cutoff for this year will be slightly lower than whatever it was in the last year, and last year there were a lot of controversy happened, a lot of students actually scored 720. So this year the paper level was, they have increased the paper level, and especially physics, many students complained that physics question paper was tumba hard, but what to do, it is a paper, it is, if it is hard for you, it is hard for everyone. Okay, so you have to accept that, and you have to prepare for your upcoming exam if you want to repeat it, or if you are preparing for 2026 exam. Right now, today I am going to discuss the physics questions which are from question number 1 to 45. The paper set is M2. Okay, if you have not sure what paper code I am discussing, it is paper code M2. Also, it took us some time to prepare the solution by Deeksha experts. All the Deeksha experts, they worked tirelessly yesterday and they prepared this solution, so you can be assured that this question paper, the solution that I am going to give you is 100% accurate. Okay, even 200% accurate. So let's start with the solution of the question paper, and if you have any doubts, any comments, and if you are someone who appeared in 2025 NEET exam, how was your exam, don't forget to mention that in the comment below. So let's start with the physics portion. Question number 1 is basically a circuit diagram, and they ask you the current passing through the battery in the given circuit. So if you want to find the current passing through the given circuit, okay, the circuit is very simple. It's a Wheatstone-B circuit. So if you see that this divided by this equals to this divided by this, or you can say this divided by this equals to this divided by this, right? So 5 by 2.5, 5 by 2.5 equals to 3 divided by 1.5, both are 2. Right, so from there you can say, okay, this must mean that this resistance we can ignore, we can remove this resistance, and we can see that this 5 ohm and this 3 ohm are in series. This 2.5 ohm and 1.5 ohm are in series as well, and their combination is in parallel. So generally in Wheatstone-B, student makes the mistake that they assume these are in series. Actually they have slightly altered the orientation of the Wheatstone bridge. That's why, to confuse you a little bit. Okay, so that obviously Wheatstone bridge is an easy concept. Only to confuse you, they have slightly altered the orientation of the circuit. And now you see that 5 and 3 are in series, that is 8 ohm, and 2.5 and 1.5 are in series, that is 4 ohm, and using that you can calculate the equivalent resistance of the entire circuit. Remaining resistances are connected in series, so entire this combination plus 1.5 plus 5.5 plus 1.5, they are all connected in sorry, not 1.5, 1 by 3. They are all connected in series, so you just need to add them once you find the equivalent resistance of the Wheatstone bridge. That is the main portion. Remaining is easy, and you can calculate the resistance to be 10 ohm, and then you can calculate the current to be 0.5 ampere. Okay, so correct answer for this is option 3 or option C. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. The electric field in a plane electromagnetic wave is given by Ez cos 5x plus 15 into 10 to the power of 90 volt per meter. Then expression for corresponding magnetic field is, so electric field is in z-axis, so magnetic field will be either in y-axis or in x-axis. Right now, which axis it will be? So first of all, you have to look into the expression. So the wave is propagating along x direction, right? So B must be along the y direction. So out of the option 1 and option 2, one of them will be correct. So you just need to find that E cross B is basically giving you the direction of magnetic field. E by B is basically C. From there you can calculate the magnitude, and as I said, it is along the direction of electric field. the x represents here is the propagation of electric field, not electric field, propagation of the wave. So that means you can calculate the magnitude of the constant, and from there you can calculate whatever is the By. Okay, it is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 7. So option is 2. Here there is a small mistake. It is not tx. It is, I think, 5x. Okay, this t is not correct over here. But the rest of the question is correct. So if you calculate the magnitude of the electric field, the amplitude of the magnetic field, then you can calculate it based on the fact that it will be along y-axis, because wave is propagating along x direction. So E, x and y, they are mutually perpendicular, E, x, y. So if E is along one direction and you know the direction of propagation, you can calculate the magnetic field as well. Now, a pipe open at both ends has a fundamental frequency f in air. The pipe is now dipped vertically into water run to half its length. The fundamental frequency of the air column is now equal to. Okay, so half of the length is now dipped into water. So from there you can calculate the frequency is V by 2L now, and it is V by 2L by 2. So it will be again the same frequency you will obtain. So it will be option 3. So initially it was V by 2L, right, and next it is on L by 2. So it will be, in this case it is frequency is V by 4L. Right, not 4L, sorry, it will be V by 2L, right, and because it's an open pipe means V by 2L, and now it is a closed pipe, one end closed pipe. For one end closed pipe, the frequency is basically given by V by 4L. Now here it is not L only, it is L by 2, right, because you have half the length, so it will be V by 2L. Now both are V by 2L, so f dash must be equals to f. So option 3 is correct again in this question. Now let's move on to the question number 4. An electron of mass 9 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg and charge 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19, moving with the speed of c by 100. C is the speed of light, injected into a magnetic field B of magnitude 9 into 10 to the power of minus 4 Tesla, perpendicular to its direction of motion. We wish to apply an uniform electric field E together with the magnetic field so that the electron does not deflect from its path. Then speed of light is given, E must be parallel to B and magnitude is 27 into 10 to the power of 4 volt per meter. E is perpendicular to B and magnitude is 27 into 10 to the power of 4. E is again perpendicular, magnitude has now changed, 27 into 10 to the power of 2. E is parallel and having these two magnitude. First of all, you have to identify whether they are parallel or perpendicular. So it will be perpendicular to the B, okay, so that it can counter the force that is acting on the B, right? B and V cross B is in the perpendicular direction, so E has to be mutually perpendicular to B and V both, so that it can cancel the effect, right? So if B is in this direction, okay, V is in this direction, so V cross B is out of the page, so E must be into the page, right? E must be into the page so that it can counteract the outgoing force acting on the charge, right? So that's why, and force due to electric field is always in the direction of the electric field itself, Q into E. So to cancel it, it has to be in the direction perpendicular to that of the magnetic field. And the magnitude you can calculate using E by B formula, and again from there you can calculate V is equal to E by B, in this case not C equals to, because for waves it is C, because it's a particle moving with the speed, it will be V equals to E cross B, and from there you can calculate the value is 27 into 10 to the power of 2, not 27 into 10 to the power of 4, right? Now so option 3 is correct in this case as well. Let's move on to question number 5. in a certain camera, combination of 4 similar thin convex lenses are arranged axially in contact. Then the power of the combination and the total magnification comparison to the power P and the magnification M for each lens will be. So as we know that 4 lenses are combined, the power generally gets added, right? So power P is equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3, which is equals to 4P. And magnification generally gets multiplied, so M1 cross M2 plus into M3 into M4, so it will be M to the power of 4, right? So that is the answer for this 4P and M to the power of 4. So option 4 is the correct answer for this question. A 2 ampere current is flowing through 2 different small circular copper coils having radii ratio 1:2. The ratio of their respective magnetic moments will be. So magnetic moments is I into A. So you just calculate what is I. I is already given equal. Radii are different, so it will be pi r1 square divided by pi r2 square. Okay. So the ratio will be square of the radii. So 1:4 will be the answer. Option 2 is correct. Next is this one. A constant voltage of 50 volt is maintained between the points A and B. The circuit is shown in the figure. The current through the branch CD. The current through the branch CD. The very interesting question. Slightly difficult. We have not seen such questions in the past. Okay. So current, you can solve it. First of all, you have to calculate what is the resistance R1, what is the resistance R. Okay. Then you can calculate whatever is the current coming from this side I1, whatever current is leaving I2, remaining I1 minus I2 passing through this region, right? And if you solve it, you'll get it as 2 ampere. The correct answer will be 2 ampere. That is option 3 is correct. This is slightly tricky and difficult question. This is not so easy question to solve. 2 gases A and B are filled at the same pressure in separate cylinders with movable pistons of radius RA and RB respectively. On supplying an equal amount of heat to the both systems reversibly under constant pressure, the systems reversibly under constant pressure, the pistons of gas A and B are displaced by 16 centimeter and 9 centimeter respectively. If the change in their internal energy is the same, then the ratio of RA by RB is equals to. So first of all, dQ is equal to du plus dW. From there also the work done is V2 minus V1. So PA into delta X. A is the area of cross section, delta X is the displacement of the piston. Okay. Now because same amount of heat is supplied and internal energy change is same, so that means the work done must be equal. Okay. And from there we can say PA into pi RA, this is the area, right? So area is pi r square, so pi r square into pi rb square. Okay, so RA, and from there obviously so pressure is constant, so PA must be equals to PB, so pressures will cancel, and you will also get the ratio of RA by RB from there. Okay, delta XA for one is 16, another one is 9. If you put that value, you will get it will be 3 by 4. So correct answer is option 3. Right. Next is a container has 2 chambers of volume, V1 equals to 2 liters and V2 equals to 3 liters, separated by a partition made by a thermal insulator. The chambers contains N1 equals to 5 and N2 equals to 4 moles of ideal gas at pressure P1 equals to 1 atmospheric pressure and P2 is equal to 2 atmospheric pressure respectively. Then the partition is removed, the mixture attains an equilibrium pressure of. So this is, first of all you have to calculate the equilibrium temperature. You cannot calculate the equilibrium pressure directly. First of all you have to calculate the equilibrium temperature, N1 T1 plus N2 T2 divided by N1 plus N2. From there, after you calculate the temperature, you have to calculate the pressure equals to nRT divided by V1 plus V2. So V1 is the volume of the first chamber, V2 is the volume of the second chamber, right? So first you have to calculate T1 from the given information, P1 V1 by nR. Okay, and T2 also you have to calculate. So once you have calculated the temperatures, you put those temperature back in the equation, calculate the total temperature, that is 8 by 9 R, and then you put the value of this into the pressure equation, so you get 1.6 atmospheric pressure. Now this is a lengthy question, obviously, because there is no direct formula involved in this question. You have to first you have to calculate the temperature, then individual temperatures, then the total temperature, and then the final pressure. So it's a long question, a lengthy question. Next is the radius of Martian orbit around the Sun is about 4 times the radius of orbit of Mercury. Okay, Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. The Martian year is 687 Earth days, almost 2 years, almost. Then which of the following is the length of 1 year in Mercury? So we know that from the law of Kepler's law of time period, that time period square is proportional to the cube of the average distance from the Sun, right? So 687 whole square divided by T2 square. T2 is the Martian day, Martian time period. R1 is the radius of Mars, R2 is the radius of Mercury. So it says that R1 is 4R2 because it's 4 times. So if you put the value, you will get this 64. So you have to divide it. This will be 64, not 67. So again, this is slightly tricky, approximately 88 days. So if you know that Mercury orbits the Sun about 88 days, then you should expect that answer should be close to that value. So only knowing the fact, you can answer the question that Mercury takes about 88 days to orbit the Sun. Okay, so the values given, if you assume that the values given are accurate, you should get the time actually to the orbit of the Mercury. So you don't need to solve this question if you know the answer. Otherwise, this is the process to solve it. Okay. To an AC power supply of 220 volt at 50 Hz, a resistor of 20 ohm, a capacitor of reactance 25 ohm, and an inductor of reactance 45 ohm are connected in series. So you don't need to calculate the capacitor reactance and the inductor reactance. They have already given you the values. Are connected in series. The corresponding current in the circuit and the phase angle between the current and the voltages. So if you first of all, you have to calculate the impedance of the circuit. Impedance is R square plus XL minus XC whole square, which will give you 20 root 2 as the impedance. Now what is the current? Current is 220 divided by 20 root 2, and phase angle is obviously XL minus XC by R. From there it is equals to 1. So difference is 1. So phase angle is 45 degree, and it will be 220 by root 2, which will be you can calculate 11 by root 2. 11 by root 2 means 7.8, and angle is 45 degrees. Okay, if you don't have calculator, how can you be sure that what is the phase angle? So you get this as 11 by root 2, right? So 11 by root 2 means it must be less than at least 11. Now if you see the options, there are two options. One is 15 root 6, another is 7.8. Now 15 root 6 is greater than 11, which is not possible definitely, right? If you are dividing it by root 2, so it must be less than 11. So even if without calculator, you can guess, okay, this must be the value. And if you calculate the angle, 45 degrees is the angle, so this must be the answer. Now next question. Wire of resistance R is cut into 8 equal pieces. From these pieces, 2 equivalent resistances are made by adding 4 of these together in parallel. Then these 2 sets are added in series. The net effective resistance of the combination is. So first of all, you cut all of them into 4 equal pieces. So each of them will have R by 8 equivalent resistance. Now R by 8, 4 of them are in parallel, so it will be R by 8 divided by 4, and now you have connected 2 of them in series, so it will be multiplied by 2. So it will be 2, it will be R by 16. Okay, so correct answer is R by 16, which is option 4 in this case. Now logic based question. The output Y of the given logic implementation is similar to that of output of an dash gate. Let's see what is the output of this gate. Okay, these are NOR gates. This is a NOR gate, this is an AND gate, and this is an AND gate. Okay, so here we have a NOR gate, here we have an AND gate, and here we have an AND gate. Okay, so NOR means it is basically neither A nor B, so it will be A plus B whole bar, that is A bar B bar. Okay, and it is NAND gate means it will be A B whole bar. Okay, now again you are doing this multiplication, so it will be A bar B bar into AB whole bar. Right, or you can write this as A bar B bar into A bar plus B bar. Right, complementary function. Now let's first multiply A bar with this. So if you multiply A bar with A bar, what you will get? B bar is outside. Let's first do this multiplication. So A bar into A bar is obviously A bar, right, in Boolean algebra, and A bar into B bar is A bar B bar, right. Now let's multiply the B bar, so it will be A bar B bar plus A bar B bar. Why? Because B bar into A bar is B bar, A bar B bar. B bar into B bar is same B bar, so again it is A bar into B bar, so it will be A bar B bar plus A bar B bar, that is again A bar B bar, which is basically A plus B whole bar. So it's a NOR gate, it's a NOR gate. So correct answer is option A. Okay, so simplification, for that you have to practice a little bit of gate simplification. If you have done it, you could have answered it. Okay, now problem is this question is very easy for a computer science student, but you don't have computer science, right? So it might be, you might think that this question is slightly harder for you, right? But anyway, let's see the next question. Two identical charged conducting spheres A and B have their centers separated by a certain distance. Charge on each of the sphere is Q and the force of repulsion between them is F. A third identical uncharged conducting sphere is brought in contact with sphere A first and then with B and finally removed from the both. The new force of repulsion between the spheres A and B. This is a similar question we have seen in the past, where charge is taken from one object and it is given to the other, but here what they are saying is that both charges are now having the same charge, right? So first, once you exchange with the first sphere, the charge on the both spheres will be Q by 2. Okay, so first what happens is that Q, both of them has same charges, so force is KQ by KQ square by D square. D square is the distance between their center. Now even though they are not appearing to be identical, they are actually identical. Now you took a third identical sphere C, first you touch it with A. So once you touch it with A, because they are identical, the charges will be equally distributed. So this one will have Q by 2 and this one will also have Q by 2. Okay, now once you touch this with this one, now again it will be divided equally. So it has Q by 2, it has Q, so what will be the average? Q by 2 plus Q divided by 2. Now this much charge will be distributed between these two spheres, again because they are identical, right? So it will be 3Q by 4. So each of them will have 3Q by 4. Anyway, this sphere is no longer needed, it is removed. So what is the force between these two spheres? That is what important, that is q by 2 into 3q by 4. So you get this as 3 by 8f. Okay, so every year they try to give you a new version of the question. So there was one question when you have seen that, right? Q by 3 charge is taken from one sphere, added to the other. What is the force? In that case, one was positive, another one was negative. So similar question, but slightly trickier than the last one. Consider the diameter of spherical objects being measured with the help of a vernier calipers. Suppose its 10 vernier scale division are equal to 9 main scale division. The least division in the main scale is 0.1 centimeter when the jaws of the vernier calipers are closed. The main scale reading for the diameter is m equals to 5 centimeter and the number of coinciding vernier division is 8. The measured diameter after zero error correction is. Okay, so first of all you have to calculate what is the least count, which is 0.01 centimeter. Okay, zero error is given 0.1 centimeter. So diameter is measured as 0.5 centimeter. Now now if you see the question, the least division of the main scale is 0.1 centimeter when the jaws of the vernier calipers are closed. That means 0.1 centimeter is the zero error. Okay, and it is a positive zero error. So you have to while doing the zero error correction, you have to subtract it. So 5 into 5 plus 0.01 into 8 is the vernier scale reading. So least count into 8 centimeter, you have to multiply 8 scale division, you have to multiply, then you have to add it, and then you have to subtract the zero error. Because it is a positive zero error, you have to subtract it, right? So it will be 4.98 centimeter. Correct answer is option 4. Now this is an easy question. Now next question, in some appropriate units, time t and position x related in a moving particle is given by t equals to x square plus x. The acceleration of the particle is, so time is given, so you have to find the acceleration. How can you do that? You have to either you can convert x to t and double differentiate it, which is a very tedious and longer process, or there is a shortcut way. You differentiate both sides. What you get dx dt is velocity. So velocity you calculate is 1 by 1 plus 2x. Now there is another alternative formula for acceleration, which is v into dv by dx, right? If you remember, what is acceleration? Acceleration is d2x by dt square, okay, or d dt of dx dt, right? Or what you can say, okay, let me do one more step, that is d dx of dx dt into dx dt, right? So this dt and dt is now here, this dx can cancel, and you will get this as the result, right? Now dx dt is velocity, so dv dt, and this is also velocity, so v into dv dt. So v into dv dx, sorry, v into dv dx should be the step, right? So it will be v into dv dx. So we know velocity in terms of x, so just you have to differentiate it. Differentiation is slightly longer, so answer will be minus 2 by 1 plus 2x whole cube. Okay, now let's see the next question. Which of the following options represents the variation of photoelectric current with property of light shown in the x-axis? Okay, so intensity of light, as you are increasing the intensity of light. Now if you remember, intensity of light does photoelectric current depends only on the intensity of light, and it is directly proportional, so it's a straight line relation. So obviously option A is the correct answer. Now you might wonder that, okay sir, what about this option? This is not correct answer. This is no, if you are plotting frequency of light with stopping potential, then this is the correct answer. For electric current, you have to remember that photoelectric current does not depend on frequency, it depends on only on intensity. Okay, whereas the stopping potential, whether the photoelectric emission will happen or not, that is dependent on frequency. Okay, so that's why if you see the graph, the current versus frequency graph, you get the stopping potential versus frequency. Stopping potential depends on frequency. Higher the frequency, higher is the stopping potential, and that's a cutoff, straight line with a cutoff. Okay, this is the work function, right? But this is not the photoelectric current. If the y-axis is photoelectric current, then it is independent of frequency. So only option A is correct. So only option A is correct. So option correct answer is option 2. Okay, some of my students said I answered option 4, but that is not correct. Okay, a particle of mass m is moving around the origin with a constant force F, pulling it towards the origin if Bohr model is used to describe its motion. The radius of r is nth orbit, and the particle speed v in the orbit depends on n as. So we are talking about Bohr's model. Force is F pulling towards the origin. If Bohr model is used to describe the motion, radius of r of the nth orbit and the particle speed in the orbit. So first of all, F is equal to mv square by r. So mv r equals to nh by 2 pi. So c equals to mv square by nh by 2 pi mv. So from there you can calculate that velocity is proportional to 1/1/3 of n, and radius is proportional to 2/3 of n. So correct answer is option 4. Okay, it is not proportional to square of r as many students think. That's why this is a tricky question. This is not super easy question, even though the question solution is simple, but the question is very tricky, not super. Now let's see. Basically C means constant. Okay, if you think what is this C is constant. So from there you calculate V is proportional to n. From there VQ is proportional to n, and you can calculate V is proportional to 1/3, and if you put that value in any of this equation, you will get the relationship between R and n. Okay, a bob of heavy mass m is suspended by a light string of length L. If the bob is given a horizontal velocity v0 as shown in the figure, if the string gets slack at some point P, making an angle theta from the horizontal, the ratio of the speed v of the bob at point P due to its initial speed v0 is. So at this point, this is a slacking point. Obviously the velocity v0 is not sufficient for it to make a complete rotation. So it is getting slack at point P, right? So you have to find the angle theta. Okay, so for that you have to apply this relation. This is slightly advanced level physics. Generally we do not see such questions in NEET, but this is very common in advanced physics, that is IIT JEE Advanced. So this is slightly difficult question. Most of you may not be able to solve this, and you get this answer to be theta equals to, I'm not going into the detail, x equals to sine theta by 2 plus 3 sine theta. Okay, so if you calculate whatever is the value of the x, ratio of the speed of v at point P and v0. So speed at point P and initial speed, the ratio is given by x, and that value is given by sine theta by 2 plus 3 sine theta to the power 1/3. Tricky question. As I said, this question never came in NEET before. This kind of question we have seen questions on vertical circle, but not this kind of question. A full wave rectifier circuit with diodes D1 and D2 is shown in the figure. If input supply voltage V in M equals to 220 sine 100 pi t volt, then T equals to 15 millisecond. Then at T equals to 15 millisecond, which diode is forward biased, which diode is reverse biased, or both of them are reverse biased or forward biased? You have to answer that. Okay, so answer is D1 is forward biased, D2 is reverse biased. Okay, so you have to understand that the wave is like this. Okay, and up to this point D1 will be forward biased, and from here on D2 will be forward biased. Okay, so So here if you see what is the omega is given by 100 pi t, or you can even calculate what is the sign of this V in. Okay, so that is another way to do it. 15 millisecond, millisecond means 15 into 10 to the power of minus 3 second. Okay, if you put that value over here, you will get the answer. Okay, so 220 sine 100 pi into 15 divided by 1000, right? So it will be 0, 0, 0 cancels, you get 220 sine 1.5 pi. So the angle is greater than pi, so up to angle pi it is this is pi by 2, this is pi. Up to angle pi the diode D1 is forward biased, but from pi, this is angle pi, pi to 2 pi, D2 is forward biased, D1 is reverse biased. Okay, so D1 this is a wrong answer here. D1 will be reverse biased, D2 will be forward biased. Okay, so option will be 3, not 2. Now a balloon is made of material of surface tension S and is inflation outlet from where gas is filled in it has small area A. It is filled with a gas of density rho and takes a special shape of radius r. When the gas is allowed to flow freely out of it, its radius r changes from r to 0 in time t. If the speed Vr of the gas coming out of the balloon depends on r as r to the power a, and t is proportional to s to the power alpha, a to the power beta, rho to the power gamma, and r to the power delta, then. Now this is a very lengthy question. Okay, this is a very lengthy question. You have to do a lot of dimension analysis, and at the end you can find out whatever is the relation of alpha, delta, beta, etc. Okay, here according to the solution, correct answer is option 4. A is minus half, A is minus half, alpha is minus half, beta is minus 1, gamma is half, delta is 7 by 2. So this is why this paper is little lengthier, and definitely they have given this question. They tried to give you a question which is basically not everyone's reach to score that fascinating 720 marks. That is the main idea. So only if you can solve such questions quickly, then only you can dream of getting 720. Otherwise 720 will be very elusive this year. Okay, a lot of questions are which are tricky and long. A microscope has an objective of focal length 2 cm, eyepiece of focal length 4 cm, and the tube length of 40 cm. If the distance of the distinct vision of the eye is 25 cm, magnification of the microscope. It is easy question. L by microscope, it is not a telescope, so it will be L by length of the telescope divided by FO into D by FE. From there you can calculate the magnification is 125. Okay, right. Now next, two identical point masses P and Q suspended from two separate massless spring of spring constant K1 and K2 respectively oscillate vertically. If their maximum speeds are the same, the ratio AQ by AP of the amplitude AQ of mass Q and amplitude AP of mass P is. Okay, so it is basically given V1 max equals to V2 max, that is A1 omega is equal to A2 omega 2. That is the maximum velocity, right? This is the expression for maximum velocity. Now omega 1 you can calculate K1 by M1, right? And for spring mass system, so from there you can calculate what is the ratio of AQ by AP. Be careful, AQ by AP they have asked you to, you have to be in the order of AQ by AP. So if you solve it and get okay AP by AQ I have got, which is K2 by K1, and you mark that answer, then it will be wrong. You have to be careful. You are finding AQ by AP. So whenever you are solving a ratio based question, make sure double check whether you are solving it properly or not. Okay. A parallel plate capacitor made of circular plate is being charged such that the surface charge density on its plate is increasing at a constant rate with time. the magnetic field arising due to the displacement current is 0 between the plates and non-zero outside, 0 at all places, constant between the plates and 0 outside the plates, non-zero everywhere within the maximum imaginary cylindrical surface connecting the principal peripheries of the plates. So it is basically constant between the plates and 0 outside the plates. Okay. So magnetic field only varying inside the plates, and that gives rise to the displacement current. So displacement current is there only between the plates. There is no displacement current outside the plates. So that means magnetic field is basically constant between the plates and 0 outside the plates. Okay. So I think they have 0 everywhere within the maximum at the imaginary cylindrical surface connecting the peripheries of the plate. So I think they have made this option wrong. It will be 3. Okay. An electric dipole with a dipole moment 5 into 10 to the power of 6 coulomb meter is aligned with the direction of the uniform electric field of magnitude 4 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per coulomb. The dipole is then rotated through an angle of 60 degrees with respect to the electric field. The change in the potential energy of the dipole. Easy question. So calculate initial dipole moment, final dipole moment minus initial dipole moment, and you get this as P by 2. So put the value of P and you calculate 1 joule is the answer. There are two inclined surfaces of equal length L and same angle of inclination 45 degrees with the horizontal. One of them is rough and other is perfectly smooth. A given body takes 2 times as much time to slide down on rough surface than on the smooth surface. The coefficient of kinetic friction between the object and the rough surface is close to. So for smooth surface it is 2L by G sin theta. Okay, and for rough surface it is 2L by G sin theta minus mu cos theta. Okay, so this is the formula from your laws of motion chapter. If you remember this formula, it is easier for you and you can calculate the mu to be 0.75, which is equals to option 1. Otherwise again this is a tricky question if you don't know the formula. De Broglie wavelength of an electron orbiting in the n equals to 2 state of the hydrogen atom is close to, de Broglie wavelength for n equals to 2. Okay, so lambda is equal to 2 pi Rn by n, Rn is equal to n square A naught, right? Rn is proportional to n square, so if you put that value you will get 2 pi A naught n square by n, that is 2 pi A naught into n. Now bore radius is given 0.052 nanometer, put that value and you calculate it to be 0.653 nanometer. Okay, generally this is a standard formula. If you remember this standard formula, just a one line problem, but if you don't remember this formula, if you want to start from here, then you have to put this back into this equation, because Rn is not given, it is given in terms of A naught, that is R naught. Okay, so you have to use this formula. The sun rotates around its center once in 27 days. What will be the period of revolution of the sun were to expand to its twice the present radius without any external influence? Assume the sun to be sphere of uniform density. So it's a problem of conservation of angular momentum. Angular momentum will remain constant. So initially I1 omega 1 is the initial angular momentum, I2 omega 2 is the final angular momentum. So for a sphere, the angular moment of inertia is given by 2 by 5 mr square. So if the radius is double, then it will be R2 will be just 2r1, other values will cancel automatically, and from there you can calculate whatever is the time period. Now omega is basically 2 pi by t, 2 pi by t, right? T is equal to 2 pi by omega. So time period also you can relate it with the omega directly. So no need to worry or don't think that Kepler's planetary law will come into picture, because Kepler's planetary law is when a planet is rotating around sun, not on about the sun itself. Okay, this is again good question. Question level is good, but tricky question. You have to know how to replace this and solve this, and answer will be 108 days. So answer is option 1. A physical quantity P is related to 4 observations A, B, C and D as follows. So P is related to A cube, b square divided by c root over d. The percentage error measurement in A, B, C and D are 1%, 3%, 2% and 4%. The percentage error in the quantity P. So you have to differentiate it and then put by divided by P, right? And while doing it, what you will get? 3 delta A by A. Okay, it will be 2 delta B, not 3. 2 because b square, so it will be 2 delta b by b. C is in division, so it will be delta c by c, and here we have to the power half, so it will be half delta d by d, right? So this is how we do the percentage error. This is an easy question, and once you know that, you have to put the percentage error. So delta a by a is the percentage error in the quantity A. Delta b by b is the percentage error in B, delta c by c is in percentage error in C, and delta d by d is percentage error in the quantity D, right? So put those percentage and we will get the total error, right? Here you have to multiply, okay? 3 will be multiplied with 1%, 2 will be multiplied with 3%. Here this is all delta c by c is 2 and delta d by d is 4, so you have to multiply them, add them, and you get the total percentage error, which is 4%. 4, option 4. Now let's see. The plates of a parallel plate capacitors are separated by DE2, two slabs, separated by a distance d, and two slabs of different dielectric constant K1 and K2 with thickness 3 by 8 d and d by 2 respectively are inserted in the capacitor. Okay, so you have two dielectric slabs of different thickness, obviously not covering the entirety of the capacitor. Okay, due to this, the capacitance becomes 2 times larger than that when there was nothing between the plates. If K1 is 1.25 K2, the value of K1 is. So obviously what you have to do, you have to calculate the capacitance of the individual capacitors. First C1 is epsilon naught A by D. Now here, when you are considering these plates, it will give you 3 different capacitors. Okay, one with small length of so there are some overlap in the picture, sorry for that. So this will be 3d by 8, this will be d by 2, and remaining or whatever it is, that will be air only. Okay, and they are connected in series, so you have to apply the series formula to calculate, or what you can do is you can apply this formula epsilon naught A divided by d minus 3d by 8 plus 3d by 8 by K1 minus d by 2 plus d by 2K2. So this is a shortcut formula to calculate the equivalent capacitance. Okay, this is the shortcut formula to calculate the equivalent capacitance, right? X minus T or D minus T plus T by K, right? This is the formula divided by epsilon naught A. So this formula they have used, and they have used it twice. Okay, one for this plate, another one for the other one. Okay, and you get the total capacitance, and it is also given that C2 is twice of C1. So you put this value equals to twice of C1. You calculate you cancel whatever can be cancelled. D and epsilon naught A will be cancelled, and you get a relationship between K1 and K2. Okay, you get the direct relationship. Now again our direct relationship is given, K1 is equal to 1.25 I think, right? 1.25 K2. So put that value again in this and you can calculate K1 to be 2.66. Okay, a ball of mass 0.5 kg is dropped from a height of 40 meter. The ball hits the ground and rises to a height of 10 meter. The impulse imparted to the ball during this collision with the ground, okay, take G is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Okay, so you have to calculate the impulse. So first you calculate whatever is the initial momentum, whatever is the final momentum, and the difference in momentum will give you the impulse imparted. Now here why they are getting added? Because initial momentum is in this direction, final momentum is in this direction. So from there you calculate the momentum change, which will basically one minus of that other, so it will be added. Okay, so momentum will be 21 Newton second, that is the impulse. Impulse is change in momentum, right? So many students might make a mistake that they take the difference here. It will not be difference, it will be addition, because the direction is changing after collision. Okay, and from the height given over here, you can calculate the momentum. Half square root of 2gh, that is the momentum. Two cities X and Y are connected by regular bus services, with the bus leaving in either direction every t minute. Okay, X and Y are connected like this. Okay, after every t minutes buses are going from both sides. Okay, a girl is driving a scooty with a speed of 60 km per hour in the direction X to Y. So the girl is driving the scooty here. Okay, she is driving a scooty. Okay, like this. Notices that a bus goes past her every 30 minutes in the direction of her motion. Okay, so she sees that every 30 minutes one bus is passing her. Okay, and every 10 minutes in the opposite direction. So 30 minutes in her direction and 10 minutes in the opposite direction. Okay, choose the correct option for the period t if the bus service and the speed assume constant of the buses. Okay, so it is a relative motion question. First, d by v minus 60 equals to 30 minutes, and for the other person, this is the speed of the girl, right? So v plus v is the speed of the bus. So d by v minus 60 is 30 seconds, and d by v plus 60 is 10 minutes. So if you not 30 minute, 30 second, 30 minute. So if you just divide it, you calculate that v is 120 km per hour and distance equals to v into t. So from there you calculate the distance between the cities is given, so it will be 15 minutes. So buses are basically departing each bus stand in every 15 minutes. Slightly tricky but solvable, not heavy difficult question. An oxygen cylinder of volume 30 liter has 18.20 moles of oxygen. After some of the oxygen is withdrawn from the cylinder, its gross pressure drops 11 atmosphere at temperature 27 degrees Celsius. The mass of the oxygen withdrawn from the cylinder is nearly equal to. Okay, so let's see the question. So first we will apply PV equals to nRT. So from there you calculate whatever is the mole fraction that is withdrawn from the cylinder, which is turned out to be 5. So initially the mole number was given as 18.2, and because you taken out some of the gas, you get the final pressure to be 11 atmosphere. So from there you calculate the N. Okay, PV is equal to nRT. Volume is given, volume is fixed, right? N number you have to calculate. So this much oxygen must be removed. Now 5 mole of the oxygen is removed. Now 1 mole oxygen is 32 grams. So 5 mole is approximately 160 gram, or closest answer will be 0.156 kilogram. It is not exactly 132 gram, slightly less than that, right, because of the isotopes. So you get this as 0.156 kg. AB is a part of an electrical circuit. See in the figure, the potential difference VA minus VB at the instant when current I equals to 2A and is increasing at the rate of 1 ampere per second is. So here current is changing. There is a 1 Henry inductor, there is a 5 volt battery, and a 2 ohm resistor is there. Okay, you have to find whatever is the potential between A and B. Okay, apply Kirchhoff's voltage law. VA minus So VA minus, because this induced EMF on the inductor will oppose the motion, oppose the current. So L di by dt, right? L di by dt. So rate of the current change is given. So di by dt is 1. Okay, and this is also 1. So the formula is, let me write it. So VA minus L di by dt. Okay, current is moving in the opposite direction of the battery. Current is moving in the opposite direction of the battery. So minus 5, okay, plus 2 into I, okay, equals to VB. Okay, so VA minus VB you can calculate, which will be turning out to be 10 volt. Okay, calculate it, you will get 10 volt. So option 1 is correct. Now if your NEET 2025 exam is not as per as you expected, it didn't go well as it should have happened, and you are wondering what should I do next, should I abandon my dream of becoming a doctor, then you should think twice. Why? Because Deeksha Vedantu is bringing you a unique chance or unique opportunity of preparation for 2026 NEET exam. Okay, and for that you have to start your journey today. Deeksha Vedantu presents you a long-term course for NEET 2025. Okay, and what you will get? You will get personalized career guidance with every registration. Over 85,000 success stories at Deeksha Vedantu. So over 85,000 students got selected for various colleges, various top colleges of all over India. 9th month residential program. So it is a residential program. You can choose residential. We have a day scholar facility as well. So if you are someone who is willing to stay in Bangalore, and if you are from Bangalore and if you want to prepare for your exam, then definitely you can choose day scholar program as well. But anywhere outside Bangalore, if you want to choose Deeksha Vedantu for your preparation for NEET exam, then we have residential program as well. Full NEET syllabus coverage in 7 months. Within 7 months, full NEET syllabus will be covered, and then you will have a chance to test your preparation through mock tests. Okay, and it will be done by experts, not a teacher like me, experts of Deeksha Vedantu, and seats are limited. You have to start registering today. You have to click on the link given in the description, put the details, and our representative will contact you. Okay, let's look into slightly in detail about what all you will get. Expert NEET faculty, they are experienced for a very long years, they are teaching for a very long years. Okay, proven results, our students consistently achieve top ranks in NEET and enter India's best medical colleges. Personalized mentorship, you will be guided by a personalized mentor. You will be assigned a mentor, and he or she will take care of your difficulties that you are facing. You have a doubt resolution. Whatever doubts you are having, the doubts will be cleared. Intensive daily practice, you will be given daily practice papers, and it will be very, very intense, and you will be very ready for your 2026 NEET exam. Complete syllabus coverage, as I mentioned. You will get real NEET pattern testing papers. You will get guaranteed score boost. Okay, your scores will be boosted by a lot. Scholarship on NEET marks based on your NEET score. You will be given a scholarship on our end as well. Fully residential coaching. You have comprehensive study material and mentor parent contact. If you are a parent and if you are thinking what my child should do, definitely you should consider registering yourself through the link given in the description and be the part of the Deeksha Vedantu success story. Let's continue with the solution of the question paper. In an oscillating spring mass system, a spring is connected to a filled sand. As the box oscillates, sand leaks slowly out of the box vertically, so that the average frequency to time and average amplitude A of the system change with the time t. Which of the following options schematically depicts the changes correctly? Okay, as you see that This is a damped oscillation. Now damped oscillation is partly, I am not sure it is part of the syllabus or not. Maybe it is there in for NEET. So here, as you can see, omega is inversely proportional to square root of m. So omega t is so as mass is decreasing, as the mass is decreasing, omega basically increases, right? Because the mass omega is inversely proportional to square root of m. So it is not missing, it is increasing. And as the mass is decreasing, the amplitude will also decrease. So amplitude will decrease, omega t will increase. So correct answer is option 3. Okay, and you can guess the answer as well, because all of them has increasing omega, 3 of them, only one of them has decreasing omega. Okay, and when there is a decreasing omega, A is also decreasing. So you take whatever is the highest possible probability, that is omega is increasing, and in the wrong answer, what is the other option? So here must be, this must be the correct for 80, and you put it over here. This is just a tukka strategy anyway. Anyway, now let's do the question number 36. A model for quantized motion of an electron in a uniform magnetic field B states that the flux passing through the orbit of the electron is n, h by e, where n is integer, h is Planck's constant, and e is the magnitude of the electron's charge. According to the model, the magnetic moment of the electron in its lowest energy state will be, so you have to calculate B into pi square r is equal to nh by e. From there you can calculate E VB is equal to mv square by r, and then if you calculate properly you will get the m equals to he by 2 pi m. So correct answer is option 3. This is also very long tricky question. A body weight of 48 Newton on the surface of the earth. The gravitational force experienced by the body due to the earth at a height equal to 1/3 the radius of the earth its surface is. It is easy question. So mg equals w dash equals to mg re divided by r plus h. Okay, so re is given by 3 r by 3. So from there you can calculate this 9 by 16 times. Okay, so it will be w by 48 equals to mg into 9 by 16. So you just multiply the actual weight of the object, you will get it as 27 Newton. Easy question. This is an easy question. Consider the water tank shown in the figure. It has it has one wall at x equals to L, and can be taken to be a very wide in the z direction. Okay, so one has x equals to 1, and it is very long in the z direction. This is x, this is y, so z direction is this one. So in this plane it is very, very long. Okay, when filled with liquid of surface tension S and density rho, the liquid surface makes an angle theta naught as shown in the diagram. Okay, with the x-axis at x equals to L. If yx is the height of the surface of the then the equation of the yx is. So you have to find whatever is the equation for this yx. Okay, this one you have to calculate. So again, long tricky question. Okay, not easy. So first of all you have to find using approximation is that for small slope dy by dx is very, very less than 1. Using this approximation, surface tension is d2y by dx square, and that is equals to pgy, and from there you calculate whatever, not p, this is rho. Okay, rho gy, and from there you calculate the answer will be d2y by dx square is equal to rho g by s into y. Right. The intensity transmitted light when Polaroid sheet placed between two crossed Polaroid at 22.5 degree from the polarization axis of one of the Polaroid is I naught is the intensity of the polarized light after passing through the first Polaroid. Okay, so again this is the simple formula, because you are using two Polaroids and the intermediate you are adding another Polaroid. The formula should be I equals to I naught cos square theta sin square theta, that is sin 2 theta. okay, because 22.5 degree is not common, you have to use this formula, nothing else, and in that case you will get this to be I by this will be sine square 45 degree. Sine square 45 degree means 1 by root 2 whole square, that is half, so you get this to be I naught by 8. Again, not difficult, not easy question. A photon and an electron mass m have same energy E. The ratio of alpha photon by alpha electron of their de Broglie wavelength is. So de Broglie wavelength is h by square root of 2me, right? That is the energy formula, right? You know that de Broglie wavelength is given by h by p, and p equals to square root of 2me. E is the energy. Okay, so from there you can calculate the answer. It is easy question, 2m by E, so it will be C into 2m by E. This is photon. For photon is hc by E. Okay, so very easy question. This is a common question. This is the only one common question that came this year. An unpolarized light beam traveling in air is incident on a medium of refractive index 1.73 at Brewster's angle. Okay, so at Brewster's angles, what happens is that the reflected light gets completely polarized, the refracted light gets partially polarized, right? So correct answer is reflected light is completely polarized and angle of refraction is close to 60 degrees. Or anyway, one more thing is that this is partially polarized, this is completely polarized, and the angle between them is 90 degrees. The reflected ray and refracted ray, the angle is 90 degrees. Now this angle is given 30 degrees. Okay, incident angle is given 30 degrees. So if incident angle is 30 degrees, no, incident angle is not given. You have to calculate the incident angle from this. Okay, so incident angle will come out to be 60 degrees, not 30 degrees. Okay, refractive index is given, so from there you have to calculate the value of. So again, this is not super easy because you need to know that tan inverse 1.73 is 60 degrees. Okay, that is the relationship, mu equals to tan theta. Right, here theta is the Brewster's angle, so you can say theta b, and from there if you calculate theta b, which will turn out to be almost 60 degrees. So this angle is 60, this angle is 60, okay, and this will be, that means this angle will be 30 degrees, so this will also be 60 degrees. So it is almost passing undeviated, right? So if incident angle is 60, refracted angle is refracted angle is not 60, refracted angle will be 30. It is deviating, sorry my mistake. So this will be the question. Now possibly there is a typing error in one of the options. Reflected light is completely polarized and angle of refraction is 60 degree. But here they said angle of reflection is also 60. Yes, angle of reflection will be 60 degree. So angle of, I think here option 2 is not about refraction, it is reflection. Okay, that could be the possible option. And angle of refraction is 30 degrees, no doubt about that. So reflected light is always completely polarized according to Brewster's law. Now next question, a uniform rod of mass 20 kg and length 5 meter is leans against a smooth vertical wall making an angle of 60 degree with it. The other end rests on a rough horizontal floor. The friction force that the floor exerts on the rod is easy question. So just an equilibrium of conservation of angular momentum, torque, not angular momentum, torque you have to consider. You have to consider the forces in all directions, they should balance each other, and the torques about a particular point will be, if you add them, they will give you 0. So from there you calculate the value. This is a very common question. In this case it will come out to be 100 root 3 Newton. That is option 3 is correct, right? Now 3 identical heat conducting rods are connected in series as shown in the figure. Okay, the rods on the sides have thermal conductivity K. The left end, it has a combination of maintained temperature 3T and the right end at T. Okay, so if you see that on this side we have, one side we have 3T, another side, left side I think it's 3T, and right side it is T. Okay, and this is 2K, this is 2K, in between we have K, and the temperature between these two medium is T1 and T2. Okay, and you have to find the ratio of T1 by T2. So first of all you have to calculate whatever is the heat that flows through first to end has to be same as the heat that flows through the second to end, right? So total heat flows is basically, this is equivalent for series combination of conductors, right? 1 by 2Ka plus 1 by Ka plus 1 by 2Ka, that is the heat that flows through the entire system. This is the equivalent conductivity. Okay, and from there you calculate the relationship 5T equals to 2T1, and T2 again the same relation using T2. Okay, you can calculate any one of them. This one is T1, this one is for T2. Okay, I think it should have been solved a little bit easier way if you divide it and then you solve it. Maybe that should have been done, but they to find it they calculated T and T1 and T2 both in terms of T, and then calculated the ratio. So it will be 5 by 3, but I think there is a shortcut way. If you divide these two, okay, on your right hand side you get the same value, right? So from there also you could have solved it. So oh no, that will give you a relationship between T1 and T2 in terms of T. You need to know the value of T. You have to use this only, there is no other way. Okay, otherwise you will get the relationship T1 minus T2 or T1 plus T2 in terms of T only. Okay, that may not be helping too much helpful. So from there you get the ratio to be 5 by 3. Again, from this method if you solve it, it is slightly lengthier. Next question, 44, second last question. The kinetic energies of two similar cars A and B are 100 joules and 225 joules respectively. On applying brakes, a car stops after 1000 meter and car B stops after 1500 meter. If FA and FB are the forces applied by the brakes on cars A and B respectively, the ratio is easy question, right? If force equals to MA, from there you calculate whatever is the force applied, the relationship, or not F is equal to MA. What you have to do is the work done. Okay, so work done is basically energy. Here F into S is the energy of car A, and F into S for car B. So from there you calculate whatever is the ratio of forces. Okay, work energy principle. So energy is equals to, change in kinetic energy is equals to work done F dot S equals to delta EK. So whatever initial kinetic energy, that is coming to 0. So change in kinetic energy is basically whatever their starting kinetic energy, right? 100 minus 0 for car 1, 225 minus 0 for the car 2, right? Last question. A sphere of radius r is cut from a larger solid sphere of radius 2r as shown in the figure. The ratio of the moment of inertia of the smaller sphere to that of the rest part of the sphere about y axis. Now this is a standard question but generally they give it in terms of radius r. Now here they have given in terms of radius 2r, so that you have to calculate and you have to know the method of it. Okay, so mi of the complete sphere by mi of the removed part. So from there you calculate the ratio 2 by 5 m by 8 r square plus m by 8 r square, right? 2 by 5 m by 8 r square is the moment of inertia of the original sphere. Okay, and this is the complete sphere. So if you put that value, you get the ratio to be 7 by 64. Option 1 is correct. Again, not super easy, simple question. So I hope you enjoyed today's lecture, right? And if you have any doubts, any questions, don't forget to mention that in the comment below, and do check out our chemistry and biology solutions as well.